I'm gonna hang Alpha Tryon around my neck because he matches my shirt. Okay, how does that look? Does that make any sense? Oh my god, that makes no sense at all. Perfect!
Alfonso, this is Optimus Prime. Hold on to your dreams. Never give up and never give in. Transform and go out.
Alright, so Transformers 1, the second trailer, officially dropped about a week ago. Week ago. And I have not stopped watching this freaking trailer. Like, it's so good. Like, the hype, the excitement, the designs, all the character cameos, the really good taste of that storyline, and overall, just the feel of it. It has a really nice aesthetic to it as well. This is how you do a trailer. This is how you do a Transformers trailer. This thing was so good, it turned skeptics into an audience, like quite literally. So I've been watching this not only in regular speed but in slow motion as well to try to really get a gauge on what the story looks like and what they really teased, like, you know, because some of the scenes flash really quickly. So in this video, ladies and gentlemen, in this episode of Till We Reach 1, we're gonna do a trailer breakdown of the second trailer. This is the one that I felt like I had to do because it is such a substantive trailer. There's a lot of story-driven elements in this one, and it really does a good job teasing just about every aspect of the movie. From the fun and humor, to the adventure aspect, to the conflict that breaks out, to the heartbreak as a result of that conflict. It's like a gumbo, you know, like a Louisiana gumbo. It's like a jambalaya. Y'all don't even know what that is. But it's like a big mixture. It's like a big collab of all of the different aesthetics and the feelings you're gonna get from the movie. That's what I feel, along with the action. So I think it's time for a breakdown. Let's get into the breakdown. So the trailer starts off with a shot of Megatron, who is igniting his fusion cannon. We've seen this shot already in the first trailer. I'm just now noticing, though, that in the first trailer, this was shown after they got their T-Cogs. Almost like teasing this is, you know, when he gets his T-Cog, but it's not. It's a whole different background, a whole different shot. So this is Megatron igniting his triple barrel fusion cannon. And what I noticed is that it's powered by this purple energy. And that is most likely, hopefully, maybe so, Dark Energon. We know that Dark Energon is, you know, canon with TF lore. We know that is what basically powers Megatron in a lot of different continuities. It's possible that he's going to probably be powered by some type of dark energy, dark force, and I would not be surprised if it is in fact Dark Energon. So he ignites his cannon, and this is most likely at the top of the Matrix chamber that we see in the following scenes, where he's basically starting his rebellion. He's initiating his attack. It's very reminiscent, in my opinion, of the moment in Revenge of the Fallen when Megatron lands on the pyramid and goes, "Decepticons, begin our assault!" It gives that same vibe, like he's about to raise hell. But that triple barrel cannon is my favorite look. I really, really wish the Studio Series version would have this cannon. But one detail to note is that he does not have the Decepticon etching on his chest. It doesn't look like it from this angle. It looks like this is his final form, where he does not have that Decepticon emblem etching. For some reason, when he gets his final form, that Decepticon logo vanishes, and he takes upon a whole new build. But the new build does not have the logo, even though he's going to be Megatron in this moment. The next scene is this full-blown assault at this event. It's like some type of event where there's a bunch of characters gathered for this big moment, and then there's this big-on assault. And you can actually see Megatron in the top left of this screen, where he's basically standing there ordering the assault. So there's Megatron there, and we have a full-blown explosion. People are running away. Everything's going crazy, and this is the same spot where we know that Prime and Megatron will face off, and there's going to be some type of big conflict. Now, the scene that we see after that is going to be probably before all that happens. This is the event itself. It looks like there's this big event. I would even say possibly some kind of coronation event, where, you know, whatever this monument is in reverence of, which is clearly the Matrix of Leadership, it draws a crowd. There's crowds of characters all over this area, and there's this like surge of energon that comes out around like the ring, and then there's this beam, and the beam looks like it doesn't show if the beam is being struck from the top down. I would argue it's from the bottom up. There's some power, some force that this this monument is protecting or reverencing, and it is the Matrix. The Matrix has something to do with all of the energy that's being like ignited in this area, and it draws a lot of people. So this is an anticipated moment. This is not some random occurrence. There's people, there's an audience, there's something going on that they are watching, they're witnessing. I would assume, possibly, this is the coronation of Orion Pax becoming Prime. This is possibly when he acquires this Matrix. Could be, that would draw an audience if the next Prime is being chosen. And what I do notice is that there's pillars surrounding this structure. I counted 10 pillars. There may be 13, but I only see 10. And if it was 13, I would say this was the 13 Primes. Because if you look at some of the pillars, there are characters, and they have these wings like angels, or so they have this like some ancient individuals, but some of the pillars are broken, and they don't have the characters. So that tells me that this is probably a monument that's been around since the beginning of Cybertron, since the beginning, and then obviously over time, whether it be some type of disaster or conflict or battle or fight, that is what causes the other monuments to break. I would assume that the individuals with the wings on the ring is probably just different primes or different characters that were ordered to guard the Matrix. I don't know, but this is a beautiful shot, beautiful scene. You got energy everywhere. The next shot obviously is a war that takes place. It's like an aerial war. It's like you see some seekers. I think this is possibly Skywarp. We did see this shot or something similar to this in the first trailer where it looked like it was Skywarp. But what I noticed is that this is taking place in the same area where this is like the mine, because you can see that structure, that main building that you see in a lot of the backdrops for Transformers 1, a lot of the wallpapers. This is most likely going to be where the mines are, like the core, like kind of underground beneath the surface. This could either be the final battle, or it could be in the beginning of the movie when the battle initially starts or the conflict starts, because it looks like there's already a conflict before the final battle, because there's a distress beacon that the characters hear or they see. There's some kind of conflict happening above the mine, and so this is what could be what draws our main characters from the mine into the conflict. But so there's this aerial fight that happens, and then it cuts to black, and then we get Megatron, a shot of Megatron. Now this is obviously probably going to be his earlier stages. His eyes are red, and he has a Decepticon etching, so he's further along. He's not regular old D16. He looks a little more upset, a little more disturbed. Basically, the narration says, for thousands of years we've been at war, but before that we were brothers. And so obviously we see a shot of Megatron and Prime. This is this is beautiful. This is probably their final form. You get Prime in his final form, which looks freaking gorgeous. I love how glossy they are. They're like really glossy and shiny and smooth and rounded. I just love the design of each of these characters. You get Megatron in his final form and Prime in his final form, and this is probably the beginning of whenever they start to fight at the beginning of the battle. And then there we got Optimus Prime. He is igniting his battle mask, which we did see in the previous actually in a TV spot. We saw this, which was really cool, but he's ready to fight, he's ready to go. And then here we have the first, I guess this is where the first real fight starts off with Optimus and Megatron. The first brawl of them. It looks like this is still near beneath the surface, because you see that there are structures upside down in a horizon in the sky. And Megatron just goes full blown, just full sucker punch of Optimus Prime, and Optimus does have the Matrix in this moment. So Megatron could be either fighting to claim the Matrix as himself or something like that, and then boom, we have that triple barrel Megatron. This is one of my favorite shots in the whole freaking trailer. Megatron looks like a G. That triple barrel cannon, that finalized design, the red eyes, that looks like Megatron. And of course we have a shot of characters running away, so this is probably that same event that got interrupted, that Megatron initiated the fight, and this is where Prime shows up as Prime, because he has the Matrix, and he has a freaking flamethrower. What? That's the sickest idea. I would have never imagined those smokestacks being weapons as well. Like, maybe blasters, but not like a flamethrower. That is so freaking gorgeous. Man, and look at that animation. That just does it. I love how he uses that as a flamethrower. That is so fire. Literally. And this is what I'm gonna assume is not Iacon. It could be Iacon, but I'm gonna say this is the mine. This is like the main area where our main 4 characters meet. Elita, Bumblebee, Megatron, D16 and Orion. I'm gonna say either one, but you know, this appears to be the beneath the surface of Cybertron, like the core of Cybertron. This is where the mines are. This is that main building we've been seeing for a long time. It's on a lot of the posters. I think this is beneath the surface because you can see there's light shining through from the top, you know, like from a sunlight of some kind. But you can also see there's upside down buildings. There's structures from the top, which means that there's some kind of surface above what we're seeing. So this is kind of like, you know, like a spherical planet. If you ever look like those, like the core of the Earth, like the center of the Earth, you'll have, or even if you guys have seen Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla vs. Kong, when you get to the center of the Earth, there's like environments above and beneath because it's like the core, it's like the center. And what makes me believe this is the core or the mine for sure is to see the train. You see the train system, which is, we know that the characters are going to escape towards the surface with the trains. There's going to be a scene where they take the train that leads them to the surface. So this is definitely beneath the surface of Cybertron. Beautiful, by the way. I mean, just wow, that's gorgeous. ILM, you freaking, you did it. This is gorgeous. This is wallpaper level stuff. So now we have a shot of D16 and Orion Pax. They got their big mine machines and there's characters behind them, workers. They both are like, you know, we got each other's back. They do the fist bump, which is so cool. I love seeing them friends. Like, this is really going to be like a sight for sore eyes. And in the next shot, you got Orion Pax as a miner. I actually get to see him mining, like actually doing the work. And the character behind him most likely is Jazz, so that might be one of our first few looks at Jazz. And I love how there's different mine tools. You got the mine tool that looks like a saw, but then there's also like a jackhammer looking like mine tool that Jazz is using. Moving on, we have a shot of Orion, and we have I think it's Darkwing, or the drones, the like the general drones, like they're in charge of the underground operation. And then we see D16 almost purposely bump into him from behind to kind of like, you know, get his attention and distract him. Maybe I'm gonna assume Darkwing was giving Orion some trouble, and D16 was, you know, just trying to distract him to get him off of his back, which is, you know, typical friend move. And so it distracts him, and they're like, oh, okay, my god, my bad, you know. And if you look, it's kind of cool. You see the characters in the background. A lot of them have the same hole in their chest, so none of them transform. And when we hear Darkwing basically tease him because he can't transform. So Darkwing and these other like general drones, they can transform, but it looks like the third-class citizens cannot. So it looks like there's a hierarchy. Like only those that are like relevant and important and in charge can transform, and everybody else can't. In this next shot, though, you see Alita's head, so this is not the same scene as the D16 moment. You know, this shot right here, Alita's not there, right? This is a whole nother shot, and then there's 2 characters. This is actually a different character. That's not even the same, because look at the battle mask. The battle mask that he's using here, talking to Megatron, is like a yellow one with a yellow visor, and then he has a purple visor here. So this is 2 different scenes. I think this is all just teasing how they're gonna all be troublemakers. You know, D16 purposely bumping into the guy, Orion doing the middle finger we're gonna see soon, Alita looks like she's gonna have some conflict. So they're all gonna be in trouble, and the troublemakers are gonna probably be thrown into some kind of dungeon, because we see that in the first shot of the teaser, and that is where they end up meeting. Which is cool. The troublemakers are the ones that actually become the main characters. Really cool. And then we get this crazy scene I did not expect. What's gonna be in a movie, bro? This was teased. You know, we heard some leaks or some rumors that there's gonna be a middle finger joke from Orion, and I read that and I was like, they're not doing that. And mainly just because it doesn't sound like Orion or Prime. It doesn't sound like anything he'd do. That sounds like something Bumblebee would do. Like the cool, like lighthearted, you know, loose character. Not him. But that blew me away. My finger can transform, and actually did the thing. Like, this is a real frame. There's a meme, too, of, like, Prime with the middle finger. Now we officially have it in the franchise. That's crazy. I kind of like it, though. Like, I kind of like this little youthful, rebellious little Orion. Like, he doesn't have that stoicism and that maturity yet. He's, like, really, really green. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a take on him that we haven't seen yet. Really cool. And so he's about to get sucker punched until D16 comes to the rescue. But really, it didn't rescue him because he got sucker punched. Look at that. That's so funny. He's like, allow me. Honestly, I think he still saved him. Because if he would have got punched by the big dude, he probably would have got his face, like, bent. This scene, I think, broke my heart the most. Because it really looks like their relationship is really strong. Their bond is really strong. This part just, I hate this part, bro, because it's like, oh, I got your back no matter what. And I'm like, no, man. They look so good as bros. Like, what? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ready for this, like, this breakup. Like, they're gonna be so close. You can tell that they just got each other's back. But knowing what they become, knowing what we know from all the continuities, this is not gonna last, and that's gonna tear us apart, man. From Paramount Animation Hasbro, yes, and I love the score used from this moment on. There is this little beacon object in other trailers. You can see that it came from one of the deceased drones that Bumblebee triggers. So this is an accidental trigger where they kind of there's this distress beacon that they unlock, and you can see the map of Cybertron. And there's coordinates that are transmitted, and there's some kind of distress call. There's something going on, and all the characters, this is where they all meet. Is Alita in a shot? Is Alita not here? Oh my god, this is not even the same scene. This is suck. They keep doing this to us. So this is not the same scene. So Alita is not even in this scene where they trigger it. If you look, there's the freaking Northern Lights. There's an aurora behind her, and then there's the crystals. This is from the train. When they escape on the train and they're like on the surface, you see them all lined up. This is not even from the same. Alita's not in this scene. They keep doing that. You got to look at the background because they are really good. It's still showing that they're going somewhere, that there are coordinates that they're transmitting, but this is not the same scene. You can see that the crystals are moving. They're on the train, so this is not even the same. Great stuff. But in this shot, it is a distress call from Alpha Trion. You can see that's the hologram of him. You got D16 Orion and Bumblebee, and you got the dead drones, and he's basically saying there's a conflict, we need help, send help to the surface. Now, this was not transmitted to these characters. It was transmitted to the drones that died, that Bumblebee triggered. But they got wind of it, and now that leads them to a greater purpose. And I like that. I like how they have their normal lives, and then they have this call for a greater purpose. And even though it's not a call to them, they want to be of assistance. They wanna have purpose and meaning. They wanna get out there and make something of themselves. They wanna, like, make a difference. Which is kind of like relatable to all of us. We all wanna, like, be a part of something greater than ourselves and wanna help, and make the world a better place. And literally one of them say that in this trailer. We wanna make this world a better place. So that is their moment of, like, transition from their regular lives to the call, the destiny that we all know them for, which is really cool. So anyway, Trion calls them out, and then there's this conflict. We get a touch of the conflict. Now these are the drones. This looks like the Vehicon looking drones, because you can see the lasers that they hold. And in the first teaser, you saw one of them holding one of the same weapons with the laser. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the weapon that they are holding is the same weapon Alita will eventually have. It looks like the same looking, like, blaster. And then we have Starscream. My gosh, that transformation is so sick. Starscream gonna really have a presence in this film, and I'm so glad that we're not gonna get, like, the coward Starscream yet. because this is going to be him when he's like at his prime level, because he's in charge, he's leading an assault, so we get a lot of Starscream and the other Seekers leading a battle. And there we have that beautiful transformation, reminiscent of the Bumblebee movie Starscream transformation. The alt mode looks incredible! I love that transformation sequence. Beautiful stuff. I love his colors, love his design. I can't wait to see Starscream. And he's voiced by Steve Buscemi. That works so well. He's killing drones. Now, these drones are not his own, obviously, because he's killing them. And they're not drones of the mine because it's the surface. There's a distress on the surface. My assumption is that this is the Quintesson drones, because there's another high-ranking power, that's the Quintessons, and they have drones and they have their own army and armada, and Starscream has his own drones, because we see the Coneheads, we see Soundwave, we see Shockwave, all with Starscream. They're not with the Quintessons. So there's already a power struggle happening. So by the time that our main characters, Orion D16, get to the surface, there's already like some war happening at some sense. And it could be Starscream that leads this conflict against, or this rebellion against the Quintesson drones and their army. And we also see our main characters fighting them as well. So we know that they are a different hierarchy of power, right? Anyway, distress call from the surface, got Alpha Trion, and they're like, oh my god, I love how they freaking glow in like the dark. It looks so good. And got B, oh my god, it's so exciting. Oh my god, haha, yeah, I'm a funny character. We get the train scene that we've seen in the previous trailer. Beautiful, amazing. Time to show them we are more than meets the eye. We see this scene as well. These are the Quintessons. They are scanning this abandoned area, and these characters are running. So they already made it to the surface. So this is probably after the train scene. They made it to the surface. They're trying to figure out what's going on, but they're trying not to be detected. And then they end up at this cave. I don't know if this is before or after. Actually, hang on. I can probably tell you if it's before or after. It might be before. This is probably on their way. They end up at the cave, because they do not have their teacocks. And the cave is where they get their teacocks. Now, that's an interesting thing. I don't know if this cave is a creature, because it does look like it has teeth, or it could just be a cave with spikes, like rock formation spikes, but still, beautiful design. Love this. Can't wait to see this film. It looks like in this shot, Alita goes for her forearm. It could be maybe she's like trying to still find where they're supposed to go. Maybe they're trying to find the coordinates. They're like going toward the distress call, and that leads them into this cave, and this is essentially the Tomb of the Primes. Like, it's a cave, but it looks like kind of like the Tomb of the Primes, like we saw in Revenge of the Fallen. And we have the 13 Primes laid out, and they're just dead or in stasis or something. But this is an interesting thing that they come across. And then we have a shot at Alpha Trion. He looks like he's also in stasis. Clearly not dead because he awakens. So maybe they're all in stasis. I don't know what's going on there. But he's definitely been there for a long time. You see there's moss on him. And so he wakens up, and then he speaks to them. Love that shot. This mystical power that he has. The cape reminds me of the Dark of the Moon Megatron cape. Really cool. And we get to see them get their teacogs. We saw this in the first teaser. Take these and access your full potential. I see strength in you. So he has confidence in these characters. He doesn't know them, I guess, or after having a conversation with them, he gives them the power to transform, which elevates their status from just the common folk to Transformers. They become Transformers in this moment. But they're trying to learn how to transform, which is funny. And then we get that people are shooting at them. So there's probably the Quintessons got a wind of them, or like caught up to them. So they're getting out of there, but they got their transformation cogs, baby, and that slow-mo transformation looks sweet. That is epic. And then we get Chris Hemsworth's attempt at rollout, but obviously he's not really trying to like go full-blown stoic. He just like, yeah, we're gonna roll out, and we get a shot of our Decepticons. Now, to note, there's no Decepticon logos in this shot. And they're not fighting him. They're not, like, ready to fight, you know? They're just kind of looking at him like, what do you want? Like, what's up? Like, who are you anyway, right? So the Autobots and Decepticons, I don't think those factions even exist in this scene. I think this is before that, where they're kind of, like, just strangers to one another. They don't really know each other yet. And we know that because they're just looking at him. Soundwave looks very interesting. I don't know why he looks so rectangular. That he looks really okay. Shockwave looks like a freaking beast. That's one of my favorite Shockwave designs. Notice, their eyes are not red, they're yellow. This is before the factions. And you can tell because they're all like, what? What do we do? And he says, transform and roll out. And this is after he gets his T-cock. So they probably get to the surface and then run across these characters. As they get closer to the coordinates, they're probably going to run into the main characters involved. And so this is a shot of D16 and Orion. They're still buddies. This is the shot of them on the train, still headed to wherever they're headed to. Very adventurous, beautiful scene. And I love this shot right here. This is actually reminiscent of the poster we got that beautiful like retro horizon with the sun. This is where we start to hear the conversations between Orion and D16. I feel like on their way to the surface, on their way to this conflict, is when they're going to really get to talk, and you're going to hear their motivations, what Orion wants, what D16 wants, and you might hear some disagreements. Might be little lighthearted disagreements, but it's going to be the precedent that sets the main conflict that tears them apart later on in the movie. That's what I assume. They end up getting to what looks like one of the main sites, and they got a full-blown Quintesson armada happening over here. Then you got Arachnid. I love how she got these individual like lights. Oh no, those are her eyes. She's got eyes all over the place. She looks like a freaking spider too. And then she's got the back of her head opens up. I'm assuming those are eyes. That looks so ugly. Looks so weird. That's Moving on, then we have the same scene of Sentinel getting he's getting tested, to say the least. And we got the same shot, Quintesson's challenging him. Maybe he's the one that all the drones listen to. Next up, we have Alita being like, I don't know about you, but he seems a little different. And so they're noticing that D16 is a little weird. And he's like, yep, I picked up on that. We got a shot of the cone heads in the back. We got some Seekers. We got some characters. And they're cheering Megatron as he challenges Starscream. And that fusion cannon transformation comes out, baby. Now, he's not full-blown Megatron. I don't think. Maybe he is. I want to say this is still D16. This is not his final form because we get the triple barrel fusion cannon later. And then we have Starscream. I think this is where we start to see D16 become more like a Megatron. He starts to challenge the authority of Starscream. The cone heads behind him, all the characters are loving it. They're like, yeah, baby. They're just here for the show. And I think this is where Starscream eventually loses his grip on the influence of the other characters, which is beautiful. I love that. That's a good character context to why he's always looking for the throne. He's always looking for leadership. He's always trying to be on top and overthrow Megatron in so many continuities. This is a great way to show why he wants the throne. It could just because he wants his old position back, and he misses it. It could be like he misses having that power, having that influence, and he feels unfairly treated or unfairly dethroned. That's awesome. I love that. I love how this is probably going to give that context. You got cone heads behind Prime, and Prime is like, wow. Or Orion at this point is like, wow, this guy's probably crazy. Disconnect and disagreements, and B's like, I noticed that too. And this shot is the Icon 5000 race. We get to see that, where they get their jetpacks and they're like running. Of course, there's going to be a whole lot of characters, it looks like, in this. So I love how the cast for the film, the background characters, a lot of Transformers, a lot of obscure characters you probably will never see on the big screen in like a live action film, you're going to see in this animated film. They can bring the full cast in, and even though they're not going to be like in the center of attention, they're going to be in the movie still and give you a little bit of some cameos. So, and you hear one of my least favorite parts of the lines that you hear in the movie is, what happened to my best friend. I hate that. I hate it. Not a fan. A lot of chaos. This is like a very violent race. You got a dude falling from the sky and a dude almost falling off the edge. So this shot is interesting. I can't tell because you see Megatron's got the Decepticon emblems, the etchings on his chest. So this is after he starts to convert. But he already can transform. Or it could be maybe like a T-Gog from Megatronus Prime. Maybe he swaps it out, but I don't think so. Look, he gets it. He gets it. This is probably when he becomes full-blown Megatron, whatever that is. If it's the Dark Spark, I'm gonna laugh, because that would be hilarious, because people don't like the game, but it actually would be a brilliant idea for the movie to give some good reputation to Dark Spark, because this could be Dark Energon infusion. This could be what makes him the leader of the Decepticons, what gives him that status, kind of like what the Matrix does for Orion. And this looks like the same purple fusion that we see him, that ignites his big fusion cannon, the triple barrel fusion cannon. So this could be what causes his metamorphosis from his regular looking Megatron with the etching to the full-blown Megatron with the triple barrel cannon and a whole new design and a fully red eyes. This could be the moment. And look at that. In the next shot, it shows it. So he is changing. He has this metamorphosis. He gets a fusion cannon and boom, look at that. And that purple fusion, that same power, that same purple energy. Boom, we got Megatron. I've been looking at this shot 100,000 times. I can't tell if that's his chest or even if that's even him. But there is clearly a moment here where Megatron takes the lava and creates this Decepticon emblem, and he's puncturing a character. You can tell it's a character because you see the arm joint. But I don't think that's Megatron. It doesn't... Yeah, I could be wrong. But that doesn't like Megatron getting, like, pressing it onto his own chest. Because his emblem is an etching. It looks like it was hand-drawn. Or like it was etched. This looks like a perfect Decepticon logo. Like, if you stamp that on, it will look way nicer than what it looks like on his chest. I'm gonna just predict this is maybe Megatron, like, creating his army. I'm gonna say this is Megatron. He takes the Decepticon logo, he stamps it on his army. Like, they get in a line, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna be Decepticons now. This is probably the creation of the Decepticon ranks, and he's giving each of them a stamp, giving them all their insignias before they rise up and they challenge the Cybertron and everything else. I don't know. But I don't know if that's Megatron, but nevertheless, really cool. And you can tell he's the one that's doing it. You see his legs there. Beautiful, glowing Decepticon logo. I can't wait for that scene! And then after that, you see him fully blown, just with his triple barrel cannon. He has another cannon on the side. I like it that he's dual wielding. That's really cool. And he's burn it down, all of it. And Orion, or Prime, is like, wow, this is the end of our friendship. We have the same assault scene, looks like a campsite in some remote area. Arachnid, beautiful shot of her from the first trailer. We gotta stop him. It's hitting the fan. We gotta stop him. Same shot from the teaser. And then here we go. We got the full showdown. We could have built a future together. Now this is where Prime is fully blown Prime. He has his Matrix. I don't think so. Now here we have one of my favorite moments in the trailer. What I can't wait to see on the big screen. Orion Pax becoming my favorite fictional character of all time. My childhood hero. Orion Pax being forged into Optimus Prime. I love how the Matrix fully transforms his physique. Not just, you know, he gets the thing and he's like, okay, I'm a Prime now. Like in the Warper Cybertron game. This Matrix fully converts him. Love this shot of the windshield and the light, all the electric effects and the energon. I'm gonna guess, just my assumption, just my prediction, I'm gonna say this is inside of that Matrix monument that we saw from the beginning with all the people surrounding it, the energon. I think this is what's happening on the inside of that monument. I'm gonna say this is like the power being just ignited and the Matrix being given to him in this big, epic, grand moment where he becomes Prime. Can't wait for this scene, bro. I'm gonna lose it in the theater, bro. I'm gonna be like, let's freaking go! Witness the origin. And then we have the shot of them in the jungle. This is probably before, or actually probably right after they get their T-Cogs and they're still running away. We got a nice shot of them transforming. Like from the teaser, and you actually can see Megatron in the background, and he shoots his cannon. Now, this is a little cut off, but in the first one, you see him shooting his fusion cannon in tank mode, and there's explosions coming from the top. So they're all running from something, and he's actually helping Prime and B escape that transformed our world. One of my favorite moments. I think this part right here, to the very end of the trailer, is my favorite part. Decepticons! Let's go! This is it. You see, it looks like, if you look near him, you see lava. You see the fire. I'm telling y'all, this is when he starts giving them their logos as Decepticons. I want to say I see it, if I'm not mistaken, on Soundwave. I think it looks like Soundwave has the emblem. That little speck in the middle of his chest. Did he have that in the beginning of the trailer? Let me give me 1 second. He doesn't have that defining icon in the middle of his chest in the beginning of the trailer. It's hard to see, but it looks like he has the Decepticon emblem. You got the 3 main Decepticons, Shockwave, Soundwave, looks like Starscream, and they're like the generals. I'm telling you, this is probably when Megatron takes that emblem and stamps his 3 main generals, because in Transformers Prime, Ratchet did say Soundwave chief among them when he talked about Megatron forging his army. Soundwave could be the chief among the other chiefs among the Decepticon army. And man, this scene is going to be so gangsta, I can't wait, because Megatron is basically rallying his whole faction. This is the birth of the Decepticon ranks. That is epic. Look at that shot! And that delivery, Brian Tyree Henry. Decepticons! My favorite line I've heard from him so far. And love it. Full-blown red glowing eyes. You got the lava telling them to rise up. You got the battle here with the train. So there's going to be a battle beneath the surface of Cybertron and above the surface of Cybertron, it looks like. So all of Cybertron about to go crazy. And then we got Optimus saying, take cover, but if you notice, he's got one of the weapons that one of the drones have, and it was one of the weapons Alita has too, so. And so they're all taking cover, they're running, beautiful shot with beautiful explosions, full of action, love the mayhem. We got a 1v1 of Alita and freaking Arachnid, that is crazy, bruh. I love that, she kicks the crap out of her. That is reminiscent. That reminds me of the Bumblebee movie scene where Dropkick smacks B, and then he just like transforms and like spins around and he hits him back. It's a G1 scene too, so really cool to see that. And she just fully just bodies her in midair. It really gives like RC versus Arachnid, like Transformers Prime vibes. I love this. And so here we go, the money shot. This is the money shot. And it says, now it's time to stand up together as one, or fight together as one. Prime is soloing 3 Decepticons at the same time, like Forest Battle style, baby. I love that. Like this reminds me of Revenge of the Fallen Forest Battle, where he's fighting Megatron, Starscream, and another character. In this case, it's Shockwave. And I thought this was his Energon axe that he used to smack Megatron, but it's not. It's a missile. So he catches a missile. That's a missile, and he just fully just smashes Megatron with a missile. Could it be the missile that Starscream shot at him? Starscream or one of the Seekers might have shot a missile, and instead of it hitting him, he might have caught it like a freaking G, and it just full-blown blasted Megatron with the missile. He goes flying back. Then Shockwave is already freaking down. He freaking sucker kicks Shockwave. He goes spinning around. Starscream comes in for the kill. Bro gets dragged and just yeeted over. And if you look, he actually hits the edge. He hits the edge. Bro, that's so awesome. Prime is such a gangster, dude. I love this scene. I want to see this fight, bruh. He's a G, like, this is an origin story. Like, he's already a G. That made me so hyped, bruh. I can't wait, man. So this is obviously the final battle, I would assume, where, you know, Megatron and Prime are fighting, and then the other Decepticons are coming to his rescue. This is happening right at the Matrix Monument, so this is a very important part. My assumption, just from looking at all these scenes, is that Megatron's wanting the Matrix. That's what he's after. It looks like that's what he's after. And they're not fighting until Prime gets his Matrix. If you notice in all these scenes where they're fighting, Prime has his Matrix already. Maybe that's what Megatron is after. He just wants that status. He wants to take over, which would make sense. You know, we did hear about Megatron wanting power. He wants to have the Matrix for himself wherever it might lie. That's exactly what Ratchet said in TFP when he talked about the lore. Maybe this is following the Aligned Continuities kind of storyline. And then we have the beautiful, another money shot of Prime landing. I'm assuming this is underneath the surface where he jumps down, because you can see upside down structures. He lands like a G, but he's already got his Matrix. And then boom, we got the money shot, another money shot. Oh my gosh. Optimus Prime with the glowing Matrix. Ladies and gentlemen, bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. I really hope that's a Brian Tyler original score for this movie. I hope we're gonna hear that throughout this movie. That's one of my favorite renditions of that of the More Than Meets the Eye song. And then we get a little funny scene, as we do in almost every trailer. You got the epic moment, but then you got the lighthearted like conclusion to finish off the trailer. You got Megatron, or D16 at this point, who knows? And we've got Optimus being a leader. They're basically captive. So they're all held captive and they're led in to meet Starscream. So maybe Starscream gets up from his throne, walks over, and that's when the whole conflict with Megatron and him happens. Because it looks like the same moment, the same environment. And obviously Beast being hilarious. There's actually an alternative version of this trailer where we hear Shockwave's voice. And love Shockwave's voice too. It's very reminiscent of G1. And so we get to see Starscream on the throne. I want to say... Should I say it? I'm gonna say this. I could be wrong. Could it be this right here? Where Starscream and the Seekers have their hideout? You know, like... Because it looks like they're under assault. Could it be the Quintessons found their hiding place? And assaulted their base? Could it be the base where Starscream and the Seekers? Where... our main characters are led to and Megatron takes over. It looks like the same environment, because it looks like this is an entrance to like a cave area where they would, you know, have the throne for Starscream and everything. It looks like a little compound, so that could be it. This could be where Starscream has his little hideout. Beautiful trailer, freaking awesome. I'm gonna say this trailer is a 10 out of 10. I mean, this is a 10 out of 10. We're in line for probably the best Transformers animated film ever. And a lot of people are saying it's the best one overall. Can't wait to watch it and actually check it out. And look at that. Nice close shot of Starscream. They don't have insignias. Starscream does not have his insignia. And neither does Soundwave and Shockwave. The Decepticons don't exist in this moment. Megatron is what creates them. And we get Steve Buscemi's voice. Enough! It sounds really good. I love the way he sounds. And B's just being annoying. And in the alternative version, he has like a brace on his mouth. Like, he's so aggravating. They just put a brace to shut him up. And then he removes the brace. The brace breaks. And then they're like, ugh, he's talking again. I wonder if they're doing that on purpose, making him like this overly talkative, obnoxious character to explain why his voice box was ripped out. And like the other continuities, why he doesn't have a voice. Because maybe they just got tired of hearing him talk. He just runs his mouth so much. He just yaps and yaps and yaps. That could lead to why they just went for the voice box in some continuities. I don't know. But either way, I think this is a fantastic trailer, and it's 10 out of 10, and we are in line for possibly the best Transformers movie. That is my breakdown of the trailer 2. My favorite moment is definitely that moment where Prime is like soloing all these characters. This is ridiculous, bruh. I can't wait to see this fight. I would say my second favorite part is definitely when Megatron is forging his Decepticons and he goes, Decepticons, rise up! I adore that. So yeah, that's my second favorite scene, and my third favorite scene, like if I just had to pick a top 3, I'm a little biased, so I'm definitely gonna say it's Optimus Prime getting his Matrix. This is something I've always wanted to see on the big screen, and we're gonna all see this in freaking IMAX, freaking Dolby Cinema, freaking 4K Ultra HD 4DX Dolby Atmos. But that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this trailer in the comments below, or anything about the movie, or what your thoughts are. I really can't wait to see you guys' thoughts. Like, this is a really good freaking trailer. Oh my god. I'll see you all in the next one. Until we reach one. Peace!